Ranking Member Malliotakis, please.
Thank you, Chairman Castro, and thank you, Chairman Keating, for holding today's hearing. And let me begin by saying that my constituents who have been devastated by Hurricane Sandy and recently by Ida have seen firsthand the rising intensity and frequency of storms in our country, and they know that the impact of climate change is real. Fortunately, the United States has been at the forefront of the fight to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions while simultaneously promoting energy efficiency. Our progress in this regard is clear. Since 2011, the share of renewably sourced American electricity has more than doubled from 5% of our total production to over 12%. And since 2005, our power sector emissions have fallen by over 37%, a result of increased investment in renewable energy and Americans making eco-friendly choices each and every day. Yet while our country continues to make climate progress, the world's most destructive polluter stands out as the People's Republic of China, a nation responsible for almost 30% of global emissions. That said, President Biden's key international climate decision to date has only emboldened China's carbon emissions spree. In rejoining the Paris Climate Accords, a toothless agreement which let the Communist Chinese claim developing nation status, he has explicitly assented to China's unchecked and deadly pollution of our atmosphere. What's worse is that he rejoined the Paris Agreement without securing any real commitments from the Chinese Communist Party to ensure their actions would change. Now, in an attempt to clean up China's literal mess, the administration has taken to tying the hands of American businesses, ignoring the fact that even our best efforts will not offset the climate damage caused by countries like China and Russia. A prime example is President Biden's decision to shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, an efficient gas pipeline system which would have allowed us to benefit from access to high-quality Canadian oil. Americans are now paying for Biden's decision at the gas pump, with prices pushing $5 a gallon in blue states like California. Even more confounding is the fact that the Biden administration greenlighted Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a decision which not only flies in the face of the president's supposed rationale for shutting down Keystone XL, but one that will make our allies in Europe more reliant on Russian energy. And we're seeing that now. And I can go on, but the inconsistency in Biden's international climate policy should be evident to all of us. Mr. Chairman, we also witness to China imposing their worthless environmental standards across continents, building ports, coal-fired power plants, and other critical infrastructure projects with little to no environmental oversight in developing nations around the world. Meanwhile, the Biden administration has set unrealistic goals, benchmarks, and restrictions for our development agencies to juggle in pursuit of climate-related targets. This administration must consider the reality that countries with low energy access are not the leading greenhouse gas emitters, and that countries like Russia and China are. Our priority should be increasing access to all available energy sources to reduce energy poverty and spur economic growth in the United States and around the world. Wind and solar are important, but they cannot be the only options. As the Biden administration looks to the UN Climate Change Conference next month, Congress must conduct rigorous oversight of any commitments made by the president to other nations. And if the administration is going to engage in a global framework on climate, it needs to actually hold countries like China accountable for polluting to the extent that my own constituents must prepare for rising sea waters which threaten their homeland and their homes and their livelihoods. Mr. Chairman, while we work to achieve a sustainable future, we need to carefully weigh the impacts of going all in on alternative energy, especially while our adversaries stand by and simply watch. With that, I want to thank our witnesses for joining us today, and I look forward to your testimony. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Ranking Member Malliotakis. Now recognize Chairman Keating, who heads up the